Section 70202.
Overtime
This is talking
pay.
about overtime pay. And it says, starting in 2025, if you work extra hours, aka overtime, you can subtract some of that money from your taxes, which means you keep more of what you earn. Sounds good. But with the catch. So, it's clear what is going on here. More evidence they are trying to balance this ugly ass law with a few crumbs to the masses disguised as tax relief. How many people who get cash tips are reporting that shit on their taxes?
They're not.
How, pray tell, do you not know that the... Bless your heart. Trump on that fucking list.
Welcome back to the Pragmotiv Podcast, where every week we tell it like it is and get you motivated to be the change you seek. We're your hosts, Trey.
And Steph.
It's Kameron.
And welcome to episode 11. And today's theme is Beautiful Name, Ugly Truth, Part 2. So, y'all, today is Part 2 of unpacking that one big ugly ass law that the Republicans passed. We are breaking down important parts of the law that will, unfortunately, be seriously impacting all Americans very soon. But first, we got to do what we do and bring you up to speed with some of the news making the headlines this week. So let's go ahead on and jump into the briefing room. So, Trump and the Republicans want to give... Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I got to go to the bottom. My fault, y'all. I told y'all last week I'm getting used to this new tech. Briefing room is at the bottom. All right, there we go. MAGA is pissed with their dictator-in-chief, Donald Trump.
Yep.
So, y'all, why this Epstein thing is just not going away for him?
Because those people want those files. The files.
So, NBC had an article about this. This past weekend, Donald Trump decided to pick his biggest political fight to date with his base. Thousands of his supporters were gathered together at the Student Action Summit hosted by the conservative activist group Turning Point USA. And all they wanted to talk about was the Epstein files. So here's what one conservative podcaster had to say. Quote, I think that these people, and I don't know, for whatever reason, there could be reasons, but I don't think they're telling us the truth about Epstein, podcaster Brandon Tatum told the assembled crowd at the Tampa Convention Center. I think that the guy was involved in something nefarious that implicates a whole lot of people. And my guess is that a whole lot of people may happen to be some of our allies and some people that we don't want to have a bad relationship with. So Trump then released a lengthy social media post that completely dismissed the importance of the issue, which has consumed the right for the past week and longer. So for years, it's Epstein over and over again, Trump posted on Truth Social, blaming the files on Democrats. Yeah.
Really?
Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, Crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration?
Why does he capitalize all?
The article goes on to say, Attorney General Pam Bondi released a 2-page memo saying that the department's review turned up no client list of powerful men who allegedly participated in Epstein's schemes, and there was no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals. There was no escaping the topic of the Epstein files this week in Tampa, and many attendees and speakers many were calling for Bondi to be fired, even as Trump sent the clear message that he wants his supporters to move on.
Of course he does.
But MAGA is not having it. The article went on to quote another supporter saying, "It's not even about Pam Bondi to me. It's like, look, Trump, we elected you because you were supposed to be different," says Sharon Allen, a 24-year-old attendee. "So you have to prove to us you're different. You can fire her, do whatever, but at the end of the day, Trump, you are president. We trusted you to get rid of these people and expose these people." So Pam Bondi kept the issue alive by bringing right-wing influencers to the White House and giving them binders with supposed Epstein files. But even that release wasn't enough, as the influencers and even Bondi herself insisted that the FBI had more documents that it wasn't sharing. So, by the way, the House today just voted not to release the Epstein files, with 210 Democrats voting yes to release them and 211 Republicans voting no. They did not want to release them.
One vote.
And a few of them abstained, but y'all wanted to release them.
Right.
Why you not standing on business?
Translation, Trump on that fucking list.
I mean, you can't, no one can believe that he's not implicated some kind of way. I mean, they were friends. I mean, for real. He hung out with this dude, this creepy dude. Because he's a creepy dude.
2 peas in a pod.
What's that saying? Birds of a feather.
Flock the fuck together.
That's right.
All right.
So I don't know. What y'all think about Pam Bondi?
Well, for me, the one thing that was coming to my mind throughout that whole time I was reading that article was, out of all of the fucking shit Spam Blondie done. This is the shit y'all want to fire her for.
No.
Well, Trump doesn't want to fire her.
But this is what these
They
people
want to fire her.
wanna
But
fire her
they
for.
don't
Like,
care
y'all
about
actually-
anything.
So
unless
snatching
it's
people
what
up
they want.
off the street for no reason.
They don't care about that.
Like,
They don't care. Y'all actually fucking think Trump give a shit about what y'all want? He's already in his second term.
exactly.
He don't give a shit.
And but even if he wasn't in his second term, it's laughable to me that anybody thinks Donald Trump cares about what they want.
Right.
Even if you supported him. I mean, Elon Musk gave him how many millions of dollars?
Right. And look what he did to him.
Uh-huh.
Everybody is just a tool
was-
to him.
Flying MAGA flags all over their house. And the MAGA man wife still got took by ICE. So he don't give a shit about y'all. Y'all ain't gonna get no
He
special
never
treatment.
has, and he never will.
He never have, never will. He is most
And
likely
that's like
on that list, and that's why he won't release him.
And that's like the biggest supervillain power ever. Is to just not give a fuck. Even when people do shit for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like for me, if you do one nice thing for me, I feel like I owe you forever.
Shit. Not I.
I don't know about forever tree.
I don't know. That's
You
just
do
how I
something nice for me, I'll do something nice for you. But after that one thing, don't you ask me shit else.
Oh, Cameron.
Damn.
You on that energy?
Uh-huh.
That's not cool.
If you do something else for me, I'll do something for you.
So you're
So
transactional? Don't be
You're
like
not
that.
like that.
Don't be like that.
Don't paint yourself like that.
You're not like that, Cam.
What I mean is not like I'm not like that with family and friends. But if I was like a coworker, for example,
Well, yeah, an acquaintance should be,
Oh, you talk about like with strangers.
with strangers,
Yeah, you do have that prove yourself energy.
yeah, prove yourself, friend or foe.
I'm just nice to everybody. I make them like show me that they're enemy.
Yeah,
But
that's how I
it's
am
just
too.
different personalities. All right, so moving on to FEMA. We touched on this last week.
Yeah.
We was talking about how y'all got to help me refresh my memory. We was talking about how we had figured out, we was talking about the Democrats and how some of the people was just automatically blaming Trump and his budget cuts for the things. And we was saying, we shouldn't jump to those conclusions automatically.
Nobody should jump to conclusions.
And that's what we want to do here is not jump to conclusions, to give the facts, because I think enough conspiracy theories, Epstein files, are spreading across the internet already. But as we had posted the video, was editing to post the podcast last week, we found out that those budget cuts indeed had gotten rid of a career National Weather Service person in that office that had the connections to be able to call the local officials. So that's
that
what
was his
reported
specific
on, and
job.
that's what we left off on last time. So now continuing in the same, I don't want to say line of events, but I guess that's what it is. You got FEMA. So FEMA didn't answer thousands of calls from the flood survivors in Texas, the documents show. This is what New York Times is reporting. So, FEMA has been slow to respond to the aftermath of the Texas flooding that occurred last week. New York Times is saying that 2 days after the floods soared through central Texas, the Federal Emergency Management Agency did not answer nearly 2/3 of calls to its disaster assistance line, according to documents reviewed by the New York Times.
Right.
The lack of responsiveness happened because the agency had fired hundreds of contractors at call centers, according to a person briefed on the matter, who spoke on the condition of anonymity in order to discuss internal matters. So July 5th was the day the contracts for the call centers ended, and FEMA fired all of their representatives.
Right.
So here's how many calls were received and answered between July 5th and July 7th.
So on July 5th, they received 3,027 calls and answered 3,018 calls. So that's 99.7% of an answer rate. Then on the very next day, they received 2,363 calls and answered 846. So that's a 35%.
Oh my God.
So they went from 99 down to 35%. And then on July 7th, the Monday, they got 16,419 calls. And they only answered 2,613. So that's a 15.9% answer rate. That is unacceptable. And as I know firsthand that is unacceptable, because when I worked disaster assistance for the COVID funeral assistance program, you better not let a call drop. You had to be on it, and they had enough agents. They made sure that they hired enough agents to answer the calls, and they were staffed up even before the call volume rose. That's the way they normally do it, and this is just ridiculous. They let the contracts expire, so they didn't have the agents.
So on July 5th, Kristi Noem, the DHS secretary, did not renew the contracts with GDIT, Maximus, ITCON, and TTEC. All these names.
Yeah, GDIT is General Dynamics. You're looking at me like crazy. GDIT is General Dynamics. Those are some of the big contractors that help out FEMA. Maximus, ITCON, and T-Tech.
So this is the kicker, y'all. She instituted a mandate at the Department of Homeland Security of the United States of America that any expense greater than $100,000 must be personally approved by her. Think about what I just said.
Right.
Department of Homeland Security for the United States of America. I would bet that all of their contracts is over $100,000.
So wait.
How is one person going to approve every contract for the Department of Homeland Security? She didn't renew the contracts until 5 days after they expired. Meanwhile, people were suffering and in need of help that should have been there. And I was watching something yesterday of a reporter who was on the ground there, and he was saying that, you know, they were searching for people, but he kept seeing all of these piles of debris. And he was like, why aren't they searching through the debris? And sure enough, after a few days, they searched through the debris.
And they found
And they was finding people.
Oh my goodness.
So why weren't they searching?
Because I think that what we're just reading here is that if you don't have the expertise on the ground, then you don't know what's going on. It might not be something malicious all the time. It's just you have to have the right people in place to do the things. So you put somebody in charge of FEMA who don't have disaster assistance background.
Right.
You're putting inept people in charge of something that's life or death.
Exactly. So let me go back to the $100,000 thing.
Mm-hmm.
So she instituted this mandate that any expense over $100,000. That's like saying that whoever runs my household, like if I'm the one that runs my household, every dollar, literally, or every 10 cents
spent,
I have to approve before it's spent. You'll never get anything done. Nothing will ever move. They say they don't like government bureaucracy, but they're the main contributors. You can't micromanage from the top. You have to delegate.
A better analogy would be like having a 2-person household and saying one person has to approve all of the expenses.
Yeah.
I think I remember reading something that she, instead of being there, was worrying about something to do.
Yeah, what kind of picture she wanted in her former state capitol house or whatever the fuck she was.
Her portrait, because she was the governor of wherever she was from.
Dakota.
Uh-huh.
So she was worried about that instead of what she was supposed to be doing. So to me, that gnome-faced bitch had to have delayed searching for these people because every expense has to be approved by her. So getting the equipment to search for these people had to have cost more than $100,000.
Of course.
Right. So do y'all know who he put in charge of FEMA?
I saw the report yesterday, but of course I forgot his name.
His last name is Richardson.
He looked like a cartoon character.
His last name is Richardson, and
he make you want brownie back.
Nah, he has no brownie. You're doing a heck of a job. He really has no background in disaster assistance.
That name is mud across the country.
No, but for real, he has no background in disaster assistance.
Yeah, just like Brown.
You know how in previous disasters, you would see the FEMA director, like when Milton and what was it? Milton and what in the Carolinas?
Helene.
Deanne Criswell was on the ground. Like literally right there. You didn't see him for 7 whole days. 7 entire days.
Well, this is the same man who said he didn't know the United States had a hurricane season.
Oh, bitch.
Oh, he's the one that said that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God.
Motherfucker, how? How, pray tell, do you not know that bless your heart,
I don't know, y'all. I
gotta do a quick search because I want to see this. Let's see. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just gonna say. I mean, we have indignation, about what's going on, but it's literally costing people their lives.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 15.8 million people of this country live on the Gulf of Mexico.
Nah.
Uh-huh.
Heard that? Gulf of Mexico.
You don't know that there's a hurricane season? So 15.8 million people's lives is at risk
because
every year.
And you don't know.
And you don't know.
But what do you expect from the administration led by a man that does not give a shit about anybody but himself? Even his own supporters, he don't give a shit about. Because I said in the last podcast, and I'm going to say it in this one. Literally every state along the coast voted for his ass. Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, almost Virginia. But Virginia is blue. So most of the states along that will get hit by hurricanes voted for this motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And he don't give a shit about y'all.
Nope.
As evidenced by the unqualified people that he puts in charge of very important things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, so moving on to the next thing in the briefing room. Trump is bullying Rosie O'Donnell again.
Why don't he leave that lady alone?
Yep. Why don't he?
So he posted.
She got the best of him.
Uh-huh. He posted, where else but on Truth Social, which is Lie Social, because of the fact that Rosie O'Donnell is not in the best interest of our great country. I am giving serious consideration to taking away her citizenship. Now, how the fuck?
You can't do that. She's an American citizen.
She is a threat to humanity and should remain in the wonderful country of Ireland. The caps. If they want her, God bless America. Trump wrote in a post on Truth Social on Saturday. In true Rosie O'Donnell fashion, she responded. In a post on Instagram later Saturday, O'Donnell responded to Trump's Truth Social post, writing, "Hey, Donald, you're rattled again. 18 years later, and I still live rent-free in that collapsing brain of yours. Mm-hmm. You call me a threat to humanity, but I'm everything you fear. A loud woman, a queer woman, a mother who tells the truth, an American who got out of the country before you set it ablaze," O'Donnell added. "You want to revoke my citizenship," O'Donnell wrote? "Go ahead and try. King Joffrey with a tangerine spray tan. I'm not yours to silence. I never was."
She got her lick back.
So although she didn't mention Epstein, the pic she posted says it all. It was a pic of Trump with his arm around Epstein. So he's butthurt about her TikTok post from March, saying that she and her family were moving to Ireland until it's, quote, safe for all Americans to have equal rights in America. So as usual, he's so fucking petty.
Why does he care where this woman lives? It's just the fact that she said what she said about him all these years.
And we talked about it. I don't remember what episode it was.
He's so fragile. He's such a narcissist that he can't let it go. And you call this woman a threat to humanity. But bitch, aren't you the biggest walking biohazard that ever disgraced the White House? Like, when Joe Biden came in 2021, he literally had to have the White House cleaned.
I would have too. How many times did Trump have COVID?
Let me be the next president after Trump. I had that bitch fumigated.
All right. So that's it for the briefing room this week, y'all. So now let's get back into this ugly ass law they passed.
Ugh.
Right.
Do we have to?
We got to do it for the people because they need to know what's in this thing.
We do, because they're not reporting on it.
Nope.
And they're never going to. And then it's going to start happening. And then the Republicans are going to say, look what the Democrats did. And then everybody going to believe it for some odd fucking reason.
Right. Right.
So let's cut taxes that don't exist. This is section 70201.
No tax on tips.
One Big Beautiful Bill Act. So Trump and the Republicans want to give you a tax break. So section 70201 is titled No Taxes on Tips. So this is what it says. So tell it to me like I'm 5. Starting in 2025, if you work in a job where you get tips, like a server, bartender, barber, etc., you won't have to pay federal income tax on up to $25,000 of your tips each year. If you make over $150,000, $300,000 if married, the deduction starts getting reduced. The tip has to be legit, voluntary, not a service charge, and you still have to report it properly with your social security number. This lasts through 2028 for now.
Keep that in your brain now.
Yep. So this big ugly ass bill is cutting taxes that don't exist. Because let's be honest, how many people who get cash tips are reporting that shit on their taxes?
They're not reporting at all, if any.
Shit. It's cash. How you gonna prove that they had it?
I mean, I know some people who, like barbers, for instance, or hairdressers, they usually get paid in cash.
Yeah,
And
most of their money.
is
You
in
know,
cash.
before now, I mean, not everything's cash app.
Right.
But what I'm saying, and I've heard a lot of people, I've never had a job where I had tips or gotten tips, but people who I know that get tips, they don't report all of that. Because first of all, they're not making enough money to have to pay all of them taxes.
Right.
No.
Why is it that the poor and middle class in this country has to pay all of the taxes, but companies like Amazon don't pay no motherfucking taxes?
Or get refunds
Yeah.
on all those profits.
Yep. So they're
That's
not
the
really
Republican
helping.
America. It's supposed to trickle down
That has never
to
worked.
us. And that should go back to Reagan, and it's never
It's
worked.
never worked.
So they literally have taken the cake and left us with the crumbs. This is example 1 of the GOP trying to put lipstick on this pig they
Right.
call a bill. Well, a bill turned a law now.
Pig. I thought it was Trump's face.
All right, so now section 70202. This is
Overtime
talking
pay.
about overtime pay. And it says, starting in 2025, if you work extra hours, aka overtime, you can subtract some of that money from your taxes, which means you keep more of what you earn. Sounds good.
But with the catch.
So it's clear what is going on here. More evidence they are trying to balance this ugly ass law with a few crumbs to the masses disguised as tax relief. You know how you can tell? They put a time limit on it. So this
That's
one
why I
goes
said
away in
keep that
28
your
too.
mind. 28. So they're
But
going
the
to give
tax-
it to you in 25, but they're taking away
In 2028.
Why?
So the tax cuts for this, or the tax cuts for the rich is permanent. But the tax cuts for this expire in 28. So this is supposed to be, the supposed help for everyone else is temporary, but these tax cuts that blow a hole every year in the budget
Right.
that was already at a deficit of $1 trillion a year. That is what America was putting on the credit card before they passed this law. Now we're going to be adding more to that every year to pay for these tax cuts.
Right. To give people who don't really need a tax cut a tax cut. But you're going to sunset the things you're supposedly giving to the masses.
Yeah.
You're only going to give them that for 3 years.
Yep.
And the timeliness of it is It's going to start in 2025 so that they can point to it and say, oh, we did this for you.
During the midterms.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And then it's going to go away
In
because they know it's not
2028.
sustainable because of all the money.
And they basically telling you they feel like a Democrat going to be in the White House in 29.
Oh, they know it. And they prepare for it. That's one thing that I can credit the grand stupid ass party with is that they know how to play the long game and they know how to read the writing on the wall. Mm-hmm. They know they're going to fucking lose the midterms. They know they're going to lose the White House in 2028. But they don't care. They just want to be able to point to shit that go wrong under the Democrats because of them, as if the Democrats did it, so that they can come back to power. Mm-hmm. The reason why we are the way we are is because the government has gone stagnant, because we have Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat. And they get their minuscule wins every once in a while when they actually come to power. Mm-hmm. And the Democrats, for some reason, either don't have the votes or don't have the spine to undo it fully. So that's how we've been able to get to the Supreme Court being the way it is, and why Roe v. Wade was overturned, and why we are dealing with this inflation the way it is now, because they let that tax law Trump did in 2017 stand. Mm-hmm. They should have got rid of that shit in 2021.
Well, don't forget now, they stole 2 Supreme Court things because they weren't supposed to stop Barack's pick. And they weren't supposed to have, who's that, Kavanaugh?
Kavanaugh was the one true pick for Trump.
So then it was Gorsuch.
It was Gorsuch that was supposed to be Merrick Garland. And Amy Coney Barrett wasn't supposed to be there. Because they said 9 months out from the election.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'm just going to reiterate it for the people watching. Mm-hmm. They said 9 months out from the 2016 election that we should let the voters decide who fills this seat. So Mitch McConnell basically said to President Obama. He set a precedent. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he set the precedent. And he told President Obama, no, you don't get to fill this. The voters are going to decide. So lo and behold, they elect stupid ass. And he comes in and fills the seat with Gorsuch. Then he gets Kavanaugh. And then less than 9 weeks out from the election in 2020,
Amy Coney Barrett.
They rush Amy Coney Barrett through. So that's once again an example of the Republican hypocrisy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I can't stand their ass for that. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of shit the Democrats need to start doing.
Yep. Yeah. It's time to match energy.
Be petty.
All right. So next is car loan interest. This is section 70203. So you get to deduct the interest. But of course, there are limits.
Now, it's on the face of it, it sounds good. You know, ooh, deduct my car loan interest.
None of this stuff actually amounts to anything tangible.
Exactly. So how long will this be available to the taxpayers? And the fact that it has to be, quote, American made,
which
if there really is such a thing,
limits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just wait.
So check this out. There's a limited number of cars built in this country, and they're more expensive, of course. Mm-hmm. You used to tell me that all the time, Cam. Mm-hmm. So 40 to 50% of the new car purchases will not qualify.
Not to mention, I mean, like you just said, how much is it going to save anyway? So let me give y'all a quick example. Suppose you had a $28,000 loan. Your interest rate is 7%. The interest you will pay on 1 year's at 7% is $1,900. If you're in the 22% tax bracket, you will save a whopping $418.
Oh, gee, thanks.
I closed out the wrong damn thing.
I mean, so again,
in Trump's America, will they even buy a tank of gas? Will they even buy
that's not
some
gonna pay for your
eggs?
gas for the whole year. No, that's not even gonna buy. I mean, come on now. Again, it's little bitty crumbs that they're giving.
And then the way things
to
going,
most people,
they ain't
and
gonna
they
buy a dozen.
They're just trying to offset the big gifts that they're giving to the wealthy by making you think they're doing something for you, and they're not.
They ain't doing shit. They never do anything for the little guy. It's all about what Bezos want and what Muskie bitch wants.
Well, it ain't about what Musk want now. He is persona non grata.
But
I get your point, Kameron.
So speaking of throwing folks a bone, Trump, the master of marketing, has come up with a new type of account. It's called the Trump account. So section 70204 says, I swear every time I read this, I feel like I'm reading zip codes.
You feel like you're reading what?
Zip codes.
Oh, yeah.
So
The Trump accounts, new tax-free savings accounts for children.
mm-hmm.
It's for individuals under 18. It functions like IRAs, but it's tailored for minors. Your parents or any guardian, employers, even nonprofits or the government. The government is funding it. So when the kids are born, the government will fund it with $1,000. The contribution limit for everybody else is $5,000. So you can only put $5,000 in it per year. It grows tax-free, similar to a Roth IRA. But the thing that's different from most of the youth savings accounts that they have is that it can be used for other things other than education.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for instance, a 529 plan, you can put that money in there, tax deferred, but it can only be used for education. Well, this can be used for education, for housing, can be used to down payment on a house or starting a business or any other approved expenses. At 18 years of age, the ownership transfers to the child or to the person. And penalties, of course, will apply if you use it for unapproved things.
Well, what I know is that the next Democrat president better not do nothing else on day one when they in the Oval Office but repeal this fucking law.
Right.
And change the fucking name of them damn accounts.
And snatch them fucking flags down.
Them big ass car dealership flags he done put on. You can't even see the front of the damn White House.
I saw that shit the other day because I don't even look at the White House because it just infuriates me anyway because I know he's there and I know it probably stinking there. Mm-hmm. But now that the damn flags is there, I can't even see the front of it no more.
But he has to put his name on everything.
Yeah.
That's so narcissistic.
But it works for him. Because that's why some of these people voted for him, because his name was on the stimmy. Like, no, the fuck it wasn't.
Did you get your stimmy yet? Where is it?
So once again, they're ending this 3 years later after it starts.
Yeah, and basically they saying they're giving it $1,000 per kid, right? Mm-hmm. Apparently they're auto-enrolling you.
Yeah. When the child is born, they're going to auto-enroll. That's like a privacy issue.
I don't want my fucking child to have a Trump account. I don't care how much money you put in it.
No. And my question is, if it's ending after 4 years, what happened to the money that's in them already?
Well, that just means any babies born after the 4 years, they don't get the $1,000.
Right.
Because they wasn't special and born under Trump. I mean, this is so narcissistic.
They are just giving you these little things that they can point to,
But you know what?
And then they're going to take it away and say the Democrats took it away.
This is one of them settlements because it's gonna be like the mesothelioma commercials. If you was born during the Trump administration, you may be entitled to compensation.
I feel like we all are entitled to compensation.
So, but wait. So look how much it's going to add. If we take the number of U.S. births, by him giving $1,000 to each kid that's born during that period.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2023, there was 3,596,017 births in the United States. So
I like how you be bringing the numbers.
Let's just round that down to 3.5 million. If you multiply that times 1,000, the Trump account contributions from the Treasury will cost roughly $3.5 billion a year. That's $10.5 billion over the eligibility period. And it's not counting the costs associated with implementation of that part of the law. So, I mean, I don't.
So
we got money for that, but we don't have money
right,
to,
but you don't have money for SNAP.
People.
I thought the Democrats
Insurance.
was big spenders. I thought the Democrats spend a lot.
Now let Joe Biden have said, I want to give $1,000 to every new baby born. They would have said that's a universal basic income.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they would have cried
maybe
socialism.
We should do that. Maybe we should do universal basic income because that's better than this. I mean, that money is just sitting in an account. It's not being spent in the economy. It's not doing anything. It's not helping.
That's a good point, Kameron.
Oh my God. I can't. Fix it, Democrats. When you get back in there, fix it.
Now we get to talk about Medicare, Kameron.
Ugh.
Sections 71101 and 71102, or as we're calling it here at Pragmotiv, Make America Sick Again.
Yeah, thanks to Wormhead.
So here's what the bill says, y'all. I'm sorry, the law.
Yeah, we keep calling it the bill, but it's a law now.
And here are the highlights. It's going to pause a 2023 rule that aimed to simplify how people qualify for and enroll in Medicare savings programs. The MSPs, help low-income seniors and people with disabilities cover their Medicare costs. The pause lasts from now until September 30th, 2034. So they know how to extend things beyond 2028
right?
When they're hurting people. But when you want to, quote, help them, it could only last till 28. So effectively, the improvements made in the 2023 rule can't be put into action for the next decade.
Right.
So Section 71102, Medicaid CHIP and Basic Health Program, it's a separate 2024 rule that was supposed to make enrollment easier and more automatic for Medicaid CHIP and BHP. And now that is paused until September 30th, 2034. So this is effectively blocking long-planned updates to streamline access to public health insurance programs for low-income families and children.
So note, keep that in mind. Everything that benefits low income or the everyday working person is either scrubbed or it's paused or
gutted.
So these sanctions block efforts to simplify and automate enrollment in public health programs for the next 10 years, keeping the current, more complicated systems in place. And this will definitely make it harder for the vulnerable groups to get or stay covered because these forms are already convoluted, y'all. And it's common sense to re-enroll people in the plans they already in.
Right.
Rather than making them reapply again and again and again every year.
How much y'all spending on paper?
And the people that they need to process this shit.
Right.
They're just not going to hire them
because
further bottleneck it that way.
And that's what they're doing with Social Security right now.
With everything that they, last week when we did the first parts that we covered, all of these escalated or more frequent checks that they have to make, that they're making them do. Mm-hmm. You have to have people to process those repeat forms for eligibility. You got to have that costs.
Yeah. So the next section is basically a FU to students.
Right?
I just want to say one thing right quick.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats, when y'all get back in there, repeal this motherfucking law, and then let's do our own big, beautiful bill.
Mm-hmm. A real big, beautiful bill. That's what we call
Universal basic income. Medicare for all.
And repeal those tax cuts.
Give a big ass check to all of our veterans. A monthly check too. Mm-hmm. Like everybody else's universal basic income is $1,000, I would say. Let's give $3,500, $4,000 a month to all of our veterans. Let's do some shit like that.
And give them access to Medicare so they can choose
where
what doctors they want to go to.
Yeah, and that's really something I didn't know until y'all told me that.
Yeah. And then let's set a tax
Explain
code.
what that is, Trey.
In what way? You mean like how
veterans have to?
Yeah, they have to use the VA program, the VA system. And I'm not saying that we should disinvest from the VA system or that the VA system shouldn't exist. It's a good system, but in some instances, a veteran may want to choose a private hospital. And it's very difficult for them to get care at a private hospital unless the veterans hospital just doesn't have it. Mm-hmm. And most of the time, that's not the case.
Yeah.
So just imagine, like I've been in situations where I've been at hospital A and I feel like I'm not getting the treatment that I want or the level of care that I want. And I could just go to hospital B. But if you're a veteran,
you can't do
you
that.
can't. I mean,
And
the
that's
VA,
not right.
Yeah, you have different VA hospitals, but not in the same area. So it's not right. I mean, these people are going out here putting their lives on the line so that we can be safe and have freedom and live in this country and prosper. But they get treated like second-class citizens all around.
So if they want a second opinion on a diagnosis, can they do that? Can they get it?
I don't know all of the ins and outs about it, about like second opinions, but I know that it's very hard to get them to pay. So yeah, I guess technically they can, but if they either have private insurance or if they pay out of pocket. Mm-hmm. So, but how many veterans? I mean, you shouldn't have to come home from fighting for this country and then have to go get a private sector job and get the same benefits that
why
other civilians
enlistment is low. Because people
and it's a
see
problem.
that.
Yeah.
And now with all of these disinvestments, we haven't got to that part yet. But even the disinvestments in healthcare that we talked about in the last episode, you're going to have a lot of people not able to become professionals. You're going to be lacking lawyers, doctors, nurses. And what are we going to do as a society when you don't have nobody wanting to enlist in the military, nobody want to become a doctor, nobody want to become a lawyer, nobody want to become a nurse. But society still needs these people.
Right.
Nobody's going to want to become teachers because you don't pay teachers enough now.
Nope, especially dealing with kids today. I'll be seeing them in the store. I'm like, oh Lord,
Kameron, you done turned into one of them adults.
I didn't want to. I did not want to. I was like, why they always gotta be like that? Why are adults always so mean sometimes, but not seeing what kids be doing to their parents? Make me want to apologize for everything I ever did.
All right, so section 81001. This is about federal student loans. So no more grad plus loans.
Nope.
They are eliminated.
So your parents can't help you.
So graduate professional students can no longer use this type of loan. No more annual and lifetime caps for these loans. So
No, there are annual and lifetime
Oh, I'm
caps.
sorry.
They're changing.
Yeah, annual and lifetime caps are added, and master's degree and similar.
It's
so
$20,500
a year, up to $100,000 total. And professional, like a law degree or medicine, $50,000 cap.
It's capped
Don't
at
those
200.
degrees cost way more than that?
Yeah, they do cost a lot.
Parent plus loans are capped at $20,000 a year. Lifetime, $65,000 per student. Part-time students receive prorated limits based on enrollment level. And schools may set lower limits for their programs as long as they apply them consistently. So they're ending the grad plus loan, caps total borrowing for grad students and parents, scales loans based on enrollment status, and gives schools the authority to tighten limits even further, which I don't think any school would want to do that.
Some would.
Don't that hurt their bottom line? But anyway, these reforms are designed to reduce overborrowing. There's such a thing?
How you overborrow?
And ensure manageable student
How does
debt.
that ensure manageable student debt?
AKA, you can't go to the school you want to go to.
AKA, you borrow all of this money and still have no job and no way to make a living. And now they making it worse.
I had wanted to go get a law degree. Not no more.
But to the point I'm just saying, that's what they want. The
Yeah, I would've
dumbification of society.
I would have been a damn good
So
lawyer.
if you're part-time, they limit you. They limit what you can borrow. Your living costs ain't part-time.
Show the fuck not.
It's going to hamper students in high-cost programs like medicine and law and hinder low and middle income students. So basically, they're kneecapping the ability to borrow low-cost money for school while also destroying the safety net, increasing the debt, and, of course, giving the breaks to the wealthy.
Yep. So they're also changing the repayment plan and guidelines. So Section 82001 outlines the new plans and requirements for repayment. Now, this is the part that's going to make a lot of people mad. Repayment plans are changing. ICR eliminated.
That's the income contingent repayment plan. That's gone as of July 1st, 2028.
And borrowers must switch to the RAP and the IBR. So what are those?
That's the repayment assistance plan. And I'm sorry, I didn't know what IBR is.
Okay. We apologize for that, y'all. We try to make sure we explain all of these
Yeah, all
things, but
these
the government
acronyms.
likes to acronym everything to
I
death.
mean, look at how the law is written.
Yeah.
It's a wonder we got this far.
So basically, there's a standard plan. It's either 10 to 25 years in loan payment term based on the loan size. And then you got the repayment assistance plan. They'll default to the standard plan if you don't choose. But you can switch between the two plans anytime. So if you start out on the standard plan, you want to switch to what they
IBR
call
is
the RAP.
income-based repayment.
Yeah. So
So-
they don't want the IBR anymore because they want you. They call it making you responsible
How?
because they want you to pay at least.
I mean, it's a rhetorical
something.
question.
Yeah,
but
I know.
I
But
mean,
it-
income-based repayment, bitch. I went to school to get a degree, to get this job that pays this. No, it wasn't in the contract that I was guaranteed this
Right, nothing's
job.
guaranteed.
But this is what you
Which is
advertised
why-
to me.
Right.
And what this and all this is going to do is get people with judgments on their credit. Fucking
Well, no, because they're going to garnish you.
yeah. So they're going to put the judgment on your credit. They're going to garnish you or bank levy you, which means they take all of your money that's in the bank. So you could be setting up your bills to pay for the money and realized, oh shit, my student loan creditors then came and took all my money out of my bank
I
account.
think it's like 18% or something I read, but this could cause people to be homeless. Like people are already they said average American can't afford I think it was a $300 emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So basically the next Democratic administration is going to have to deal with a bunch of homeless people.
Yeah, this economy is going to be in the toilet.
Right. So let's just check this out. So if your adjusted gross income on your 1040 form is less than or equal to $10,000, you will pay $120 per month for your student loans. That's mandatory.
Did we skip over the annual income verification opt-out?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so the new loans dispersed after July 1st, 2026, you must choose the standard plan, 10 to 25 years based on loan size. Repayment assistance plan. Default is standard if no choice is made. Can switch between standard and RAP anytime. RAP features starts July 1st. Payments based on AGI, so your adjustable gross income and family size. Forgiveness after 30 years, 360 payments. Interest subsidy plus or up to $50 a month match on low principal payments. And payments range between $120 a month.
Or 10% of your AGI.
Or 10% of your AGI, which
if you make over 100,000. Right.
Annual income verification and opt-out. Borrowers must verify income annually, and you can opt in to automatic verification via the IRS or opt out and submit manually. So basically,
More
they all up in
paperwork.
your business.
Right. So usually when you file your student aid report or when you fill out your FAFSA and you get your student aid report, sometimes it has lasted, like they count your income for a couple of years. You don't have to, I mean, you still fill out your FAFSA, but they'll count that income for a couple of years. No. Now this law makes you have to verify your income annually. So it's more hoops to jump through because whose income really changes
Yeah.
that much annually?
Not most people, but you see, what happened to small government?
Nah.
What happened to getting the government out of my business?
But yet y'all in people's doctors' rooms.
And then they paying.
Y'all in people pants.
Yeah, in they
in
bedroom.
people bedrooms. Y'all telling us what we can watch and what we can't watch on our phones. Making us have to verify to do what we want to do on our phones. Like, come on.
Right.
This
You
ain't
telling me
small.
what I can do on my phone, but you ain't helping me pay that bill.
Nah. What happened to small government? It was, they painted the Democrats as someone who was, as a party that would be all up in everybody's business, telling you what to do. But no, it's actually y'all, Republicans. Y'all are the party of fucking Karens. You can't you can't mind your motherfucking business to save your lives. Stay out of our business.
So let me just illustrate. I'm going to bring the numbers again. If your adjusted gross income on your 1040 form is less than or equal to $10,000, you will pay $120 a month. Think about that now. $10,000 a year works out to be $833 a month. $120 is 14% of your gross income before taxes.
That is criminal.
After taxes, that's about $600 a month. So you went from $833 to about $600 after taxes. That's not even including your health insurance if you got to pay for that.
Which that's going to take the rest of that shit.
And they making people pay $120 of the $600 net that you're going to get from that $833. Higher income pays less percentage. Again, they mess over the people who have the least.
Yep.
People will be able to pay loans if you would raise the minimum wage. If you would actually make the economy good enough to
Yeah, do
have
things to
jobs.
stimulate the economy. Do things to fill. There's a bunch of jobs that the workforce is not even trained for. How about you give free training on the things that employers are looking for, the jobs that take the technical expertise? How about you give free training on that?
No.
So there's also changes coming to when you can have deferment or forbearance. Check this out. Section 82002 says no more hardships or unemployment deferments. Starting July 1st, 2027. Again, after the midterm.
After the midterm.
Only 9 months of forbearance in any 24-month period. So why would you want to do that? If the economy is fucked up and people don't have no money, they just supposed to do what? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say on this podcast
supposed to do what Ronald Reagan
people
told them to do.
would do.
Take some ketchup packets and make soup.
Ugh.
And even though they would have got fired, all the White House staff should have served that motherfucker that shit for the next week.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't have been able to get nothing else but fucking ketchup.
And I remember seeing all these people in the comment sections under Joe Biden's post, Kamala Harris's post, and in the Shade Room comments talking about, when you gonna forgive my student loans? All of this shit. He tried.
Yeah.
And the
Y'all didn't
Republicans
give him the Congress he needed
sued
to be able
him.
to forgive your student loan.
Yeah. The Republicans sued him because it was an executive order, and they sued him and they blocked it. Then they passed this bullshit. Now you can't even put it in forbearance.
Yeah.
And some of them said that they was going to vote third party.
Because they was mad about it. How about y'all learn how your country works?
Well,
and
third
understand the
parties ain't never
limits
gonna win.
that used to exist on the executive branch.
Right.
Voting third party is a vote for Trump. And we tried to tell y'all, and you said, or you just did not want to hear us. And now here we are. Please don't do it again. Please.
So now they're saying you can now rehabilitate a default twice instead of once. This is a change outlined in section 82003.
But wait, think about that now. They're giving you more chances to cure a default on your student loans. Why? Because they're taking away the help
that would
and
cause you to default in the first place.
Yeah, they're making you pay more. They're not giving, hardship or forbearances, and they're limited enough.
So they're going to spin it. Look, we're helping you. It used to be once, but now you're going to be in danger of defaulting more times than before.
They know that, and that's why they put it in here.
Catastrophically destroy people's credit. And I don't know how many times we're going to have to say this, but they want a caste system. Mm-hmm. They want people on the bottom to not be able to afford things like this.
Yeah, and they bring that up. I saw a creator on, if you could call them that, on YouTube, and they were saying, they complaining about losing the access to their Medicaid because, and then there was like this report, which that report was probably faulty. And it was like, it's only going to be $1,000 a year. And then he was holding up his iPhone and he was like, I know a lot of people finance this $1,000 a year. So that's not going to hurt them. First of all, Medicaid money is not money that the people get.
Right.
And losing $1,000 per person from government spending on Medicaid does not equate to what that's going to do to the actual person. Right. Because medicine is fucking expensive. And trust me, one of their prescriptions probably costs $1,000. Uh-huh. Especially, God forbid, you're on insulin or something like that.
These people...
Or asthma inhaler.
Yeah. Like I looked at the cash price of my shit the other day. These $820-something.
Fucking selfish. They are just selfish. They're evil. And they're evil and they are stupid. Where they would even think that is equivalent. That is not equivalent.
So you want people to not be able to have iPhones, but then if they on the side of the road and they coming up to you driving your fancy car ask you
think they gonna
can you let me use your phone so I could call for help? They're gonna be bothered. Why are these people bothering me?
Or if they come up and say, "Can I have some money for food?
Get a job.
For some water?" No, they do what this dude who used to work at the Trump White House, I forget his name. He gave homeless people fake 20s so that they would get arrested.
What?
So that he wouldn't have to look at them on the side of the road. So you removing the safety nets, and then people end up homeless because you did that, and now you're trying to get them put in jail.
Special place in hell.
So right next to, I'm not gonna say his name.
The next section is about public service loan forgiveness. This is for those working government and nonprofit jobs. So this is section 82004. So this is supposedly going to expand the kinds of payments that count toward it. Your on-time payments under the Repayment Assistance Plan count, and it's going to helps more people who work in public service qualify, so they're saying. But even though this looks attractive, it's not. The new student loan caps make qualifying for PSLF less likely. And what would be forgiven under it is significantly less than what was forgiven under it before this law. So take doctors, for instance. They typically work for nonprofits. They will be making the same salaries, hypothetically, if the healthcare industry doesn't collapse because of these cuts from this damn law.
It will.
But even with the same salary, they would have much less of their loans forgiven.
Right.
So the amount of their usable income is less because they're going to be making higher payments, which means that's less they could spend.
Thus, fucking over the economy. In order for the economy to do well, people need to be able to spend.
Now, ain't that the stereotypical thing? People always say that lawyers and doctors, they were rich, they had money. And now lawyers and doctors are going to be poor.
And they don't have a lot of people wanting to go into medicine. There's like a shortage because of that.
Which means we all ain't going to be able to get shit.
Nope.
We all ain't going to be able to do shit. And we're going to have the student loans weighing down our credit at the bottom. Then now, what was the most stable job markets or job industries is no longer stable. Which means banks are just going to stop fucking lending altogether.
Well, they're going to go out of business. Now, they not going to want to stop lending.
No, because
that's how they make their money. But if the profile of who they lending to is getting worse and worse and worse by the month,
they're just going to go
then they're going to be defunct. And then you could end up in something worse than 2008.
And it's just a lot of stuff in this bill.
Under Trump, do you really trust the FDIC?
So now let's get into what has changed for the Pell grants. This is section 83001 and 2. So 001 changes Pell Grant eligibility. Starting 26. Foreign income must be counted in Pell Grant calculations.
The fuck is foreign income?
So previously, some of this type of income was excluded.
I'm going to tell you.
Students whose student aid index is greater than, help me out with this, greater than or equal to 2 times the max Pell Grant will be ineligible for a Pell Grant.
So that means if the student aid index comes back and it says that, you know, after you fill out all the financial part of the FAFSA and stuff, if it's greater than 14,789, because 14,790 is twice the Pell Grant. The Pell Grant is like 7,300 something. then you can't have it. So if your student aid index number is greater than that 14,789, you can't have a Pell Grant. So, your question about what is foreign income, Kameron, that's income that you receive from either your investments or some, I don't know, maybe you have work.
Or things like grants?
No, foreign income is like you made it from another country. Income we live in Louisiana and we get income from England. Maybe we're consultants or we have a business or we split, time between England. So all your income sources will now be counted to make up that student aid index number. And if it's more than that, you can't have a Pell Grant.
So they're counting more types of income than before, which raises your SAI, making those who may be eligible before ineligible. This section is the first of a number of changes regarding the Pell Grant.
Right.
So check this one out. Starting July 2026.
That's the workforce Pell Grants.
Yeah, workforce Pell Grants are available for short-term training programs, 8 to 15 weeks in high-demand fields. Must not already have a graduate degree or be enrolled in grad school. And programs must have a 70% completion and job placement.
Mm-hmm.
Students can't be both regular and workforce Pell at once.
So you can't get the regular Pell Grant and also get a workforce Pell Grant. You can't combine them, even though tuition prices are way more.
So supporters of this addition say it would make the grants available for a lot more students, while opponents say it would also incentivize an explosion of interest in the burgeoning credential sector, with few guardrails against for-profit and unaccredited providers. Like the Trump University? That could mean a flood of unvetted programs receiving federal funds to enroll vulnerable students. Haven't we been there, done that?
Yeah, we've been there, done that, and they always want to go there and do that. They always want to grease the palms of the private sector. So that part about, there you go. That part about the burgeoning credential sector. There's all these new types of credentials for this and that, certified, blah, 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 blah. But a lot of these places are not, or these entities are not really accredited like some of the older, more established credential granting things like, certified public accountant or whatever. So you're going to have all these things getting federal funds, and students are going to flock to go get these credentials because they think it's going to get them a better job, but it may or may not help them get a better job.
My bet is on.
It
will not. So the next sections are bait and switch. The law funds the shortfall, but it will gut punch students. So Congress will increase Pell shortfall funding from $2.1 billion to $12.6 billion. Extra funds ensure Pell grants remain fully funded in future years.
But that sounds good. But
if you're a very good student and you get a scholarship and your state has some type of aid, like we was just talking about the TOPS here in Louisiana, you won't get a Pell Grant if those scholarship funds or state aid funds cover your costs. So they taking something from you that you earn.
Right. So you can't be smart and have a 4.0 and get all of these scholarships. This is the way that low-income students and students of color, they have bust their ass to get in scholarship contention so that they can go to universities that are otherwise out of reach.
Exactly.
And now you're penalizing it for
which makes those universities out of reach. So basically, you don't belong here. We found a way to keep you out.
We all want DEI. Bitches.
So section 83004, the exclusion rules. So starting July 1st, 2026, students won't get a Pell Grant for any term where their non-federal grants cover 100% of their college costs. And this applies to the aid from state schools or private sources. So next up, we have what I think is the flip side of the workforce Pell Grant.
84001.
Yeah, you want to cover that one for me?
Ineligibility based on low earning outcomes. Low earning college programs will lose federal aid access if graduates of the programs earn less than high school grads for 2 of the last 3 years. This applies to undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs. They are going to compare the earnings to 25 to 34-year-olds with only high school diplomas or a bachelor's degree for graduate programs. So if your school's graduates don't earn enough, the school won't be able to give federal student aid. So this means only high-earning disciplines will be eligible. So if you want to study, say, design or social work, you may have to fund your education yourself.
Because
and how
last
you gonna
time
do that?
I checked, the schools is the ones that control the economy and the industries that they train people for. They set the salaries, right? So schools that specialize in computer science, they set in the computer science salaries.
I don't really know. I think the salaries are.
They don't.
Oh,
It's all about the industry.
I was being sarcastic.
I had a brain fog.
I mean, it's really stupid.
Sometimes Trey's humor goes over my head.
I just can't believe that they're getting away with the shit that they're doing.
But they don't have to get away with it if we vote their asses out.
Yeah, but apparently it's working enough for people not to vote their asses out because they're still in there. And they get rewarded with second 4-year terms.
Yeah.
And second 6-year fucking Senate terms. And even though in Congress they have to get voted in every 2 years, they keep getting back in there.
And
right.
the crazy part is that we wouldn't have this law if Congress wasn't full of a bunch of fossils.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just read something before we sat down to film. Josh Hawley. Now, he's not a fossil. I don't understand these people. He expressed, before they passed the bill, he expressed his discontent with the bill.
But didn't have the balls to vote against it.
Right. So he voted against it, and now he's coming out saying he just introduced, is it a resolution that they introduced? Help me out, Kameron. When a representative wants to introduce legislation, it's a resolution?
Yeah, a resolution.
Yeah. So he introduced a resolution to repeal the law. But you had a chance to not vote for it.
Yeah, because introducing a resolution right now to repeal the law is definitely going to get all of the votes from the Republicans and the Democrats, and then Donald Trump is going to sign it. Really?
Lisa Murkowski had the power to cut this off at the pass.
Y'all need to see this shit for what it is.
She could have
out there,
voted
y'all.
no on even bringing this up for a debate, which means they couldn't pass it.
This is fucking theater.
It is. And we, on this podcast, we want to bring the raw truth to you guys, because this is, it's like the information is not flowing. And the reason that we are in this situation is because there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of disinformation. And that's by design, because they want an apathetic, complacent, disengaged electorate.
And they want to make you think that government is so convoluted and so hard to understand that we just tune it out.
Yeah.
And let
And it's
them
not.
be and do what they want to do. And get that attitude that, well, it's too big for us to change. It takes an act of Congress. Well, an act of Congress don't have to be an act of Congress. They could literally move fast when they want to. They just don't want
we've
to.
seen them move fast.
Like,
But the flip side of that
confirming
is the Democrats need to grow up here, like Barack Obama said. He basically said they need to grow up here and stop whining.
Stop whining and primary these old politicians who've been there, who haven't really been doing anything. And if we had just done that and had our congregation be young, then there wouldn't be 3 Democrats who died in office. And then having Republican governors holding up.
Right? They're doing the same thing that Mitch McConnell did with the Supreme Court justices.
Abbott won't hold a special election to fill the seat of the congressperson who died.
And now he about to extra gerrymander the state.
Yeah.
So if those 3 Democrats were still there, the bill would have failed. Because there was a few Republicans who voted with the Democrats to say no.
Yeah. So now moving on to, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was just going.
All right. So moving on to the next section, which us here at Pragmotiv likes to call, this is about him building his wall. So it's Operation Build the Wall, Protect the Orange. So section 90001 and 90002. Now, these sections are about the border and immigration and protecting what I first read as the president's residence, which of course, like any American citizen would think is the White House.
No, not in this day and age.
So section 90001, border wall and infrastructure, is putting $46.55 billion
with a B
for border barriers and support systems.
$1 billion.
Build or upgrade primary, secondary, and water-based barriers. Create and improve access roads for patrols and add cameras, lights, sensors, and detection tech. I wonder what private friend company is going to get that contract.
And water-based barriers, they going to put them damn things that was drowning people back.
And cutting people that Texas had.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Water-based barriers, y'all know what that is. That's probably those saw blade barriers that they were using in Texas. $46 billion.
And then it says prepare land near the border for customs and border protection operations. So that was a story that I was watching, I think on YouTube the other day, about him taking over vast swaths of the country and militarizing them.
Yeah, basically he extended the land area of a base, I think in New Mexico, somewhere near the border. And it's a pretty narrow strip that's close to the border, but it's just enough to where, like, if you wander or set foot on that, they have the right to detain you. He's expanded the reach of a military base.
That's just unconstitutional. The military is not supposed to be patrolling American citizens.
No.
So they're also giving the CBP more vehicles, facilities, and of course, they're adding to the number of agents. As if we need more of them.
Give them all Fords. They don't deserve no charger.
So section 90002 is giving $4.1 billion to hire and train more Border Patrol agents, Air Marine agents, and support staff.
Right.
$2 billion for recruitment, retention, and performance bonuses. $855 million to repair or buy more patrol vehicles. And $5 billion to build, lease, or improve CBP facilities and checkpoints.
So first, let's talk about those performance bonuses. So you're going to reward them. What are they going to have, a quota like ICE has?
No.
So this part is real significant. And we saved this part. You know how they say, well, I'll save the best for last. No, we saved the worst for last. This part is significant. No funds after October 31st, 2028 can be used to hire or train people for processing coordinator roles. Processing coordinator roles are those people who help with paperwork or humanitarian tasks. This is very suspect. I keep saying, show me your budget and I'll tell you what's important to you. If you pay attention and read between the lines, they're telling you what they're going to do. So this is a shift towards enforcement over humanitarian processing. It's increased militarization of the border, like we was just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's intentional bottlenecking of the asylum process.
Mm-hmm.
Agents may be overburdened with paperwork or logistics, potentially slowing down, like I said, asylum or humanitarian claims. And this is an indirect way of discouraging immigration or creating more barriers to entry for migrants seeking legal relief. The people that are coming here are sometimes they're fleeing gang violence or cartel violence. Sometimes it's just to escape extreme poverty, and they just want a better life. So if they come and present themselves for asking for asylum, you ought to at least entertain their requests. So I feel like every time we do the podcast now, I'm at a loss for words.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just so incensing that they're doing this. I don't know. Y'all thoughts?
It's par for the course with them.
They just are racist.
Yeah.
And you can
and the
tell
worst kind.
Just how
not that there's a good kind, but there's levels to that shit. And they at the nth level.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you could tell just by how ICE is detaining U.S. citizens. They're just looking at color.
Right.
And the way that they could have fixed the border, it doesn't have to be a black and white issue.
No.
What we always
Nobody's
say
saying
here
just open and let any and everybody come.
No Democrat has ever advocated for that, but yet they lied, just like they lied and said Democrats want to take your guns away. I'm a Democrat and I want guns. I like
have guns.
Mm-hmm. So two things can be true at the same time.
And
We always say that. And the thing is that the way we could have fixed the border while letting people still be able to seek asylum here and come here is, one, get more immigration judges and lawyers.
Oh, no, they're not funding that.
Yeah, of course not. Have an automatic background check. Even find what I would do if I happen to be a Gen Z president is find a way to have a computer algorithm that could, where they could apply from their home country if they have the ability to, or apply as soon as they get here for the citizenship. Have a background check run, put it through all the networks, through Interpol and all that other shit.
Well, they are putting AI in that. I mean, you heard that Elon Musk Grok said it was Hitler.
Right.
And now the Department of Homeland Security is putting Grok into the military.
More work for the next president.
Right.
I don't know how you unfuck that.
I don't know. So they're also allotting $45 billion more for concentration camps.
More alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah. Section 90003 says it's about detention capacity. It allocates, like I said, $45 billion to increase detention space for single adults and families. Family units can be detained together until their immigration case is resolved or they're deported.
So
which
tearing
means
apart
you're going to
families no
keep
more.
How
people
wonderful.
detained for as long as it takes, because you're not hiring any more judges.
Well, I don't see in this budget where's the board games?
No.
What they gonna do?
They just...
Do they have government funded Netflix?
No.
This is ridiculous.
It is. It's horrific. It defines family residential centers as DHS-run facilities for detained family groups. And the standards for these detentions for adults will be decided by DHS secretary. You want Christy Nome to decide the standards?
That known-faced bitch.
Your thoughts?
That part. I literally have no words for her.
That's what I'm saying. It's like every time we do this podcast now, I have no words because of what they're doing. It's
because the words that I do have would be too
wanna...
X-rated even for the Pragmotiv Podcast, which is already
raw,
explicit.
So you want to take that one?
Yeah, so the next one is section 90004. And this one is providing $6.17 billion for tech-based border enforcement, funds AI-driven drug detection tools, surveillance, and biometric tracking, supports air and marine patrol upgrades, includes AI and machine learning to spot illegal crossings and drug smuggling. How? How is AI going to spot drug smuggling? Funds screening of people.
I mean, Grok said he was Hitler. So what is AI going to do to spot illegal crossings? They're going to be
saying everybody illegally crossing. Everybody who look a certain hue.
If you get out of your car to resituate your stuff in the trunk,
you drug smuggling.
Fund
screening of people and unaccompanied children, and targets fentanyl and other drug trafficking.
I guarantee you ain't nobody sending their unaccompanied minor to this bitch right now.
No. So section 90005 is Homeland Security grants and state and local assistance. So
right.
$500 million for states, localities to detect threats from drones.
So now,
I'm sorry. Threats from drones.
Who's drones?
Okay, $500 million.
So does that mean that I can't fly my drone?
Probably.
No. What that's saying is they're going to use drones to detect.
Oh, is that what it's saying? Because New Jersey, like, they was all conspiracy theorying about the drones that was in the air.
Oh, really?
So I read this as they putting $500 million to attack drones. I don't know, y'all. We'll have to probably dig deeper on that one.
Yeah. Because
that one's up in the air. But they doing $500 million for something with drones. We could guarantee that. So $625 million for the World Cup security.
Because the FIFA World Cup is coming.
$1 billion for the Olympics security. $450 million for Operation Stone Garden, which funds local law enforcement border cooperation.
So if you subscribe to the orange man's view that get all the illegals out, then you can get some money for your state border cooperation.
Dangerous.
And now all people gonna be doing is snitching on people they don't like.
Yep. State Border Security Reinforcement Fund establishes a $10 billion fund available until 2034 to build or improve walls, fences, or barriers on the southern border. Prepare land and infrastructure for such barriers. Detect and detain migrants who committed crimes. Relocate migrants from small towns to other domestic locations. States can apply for reimbursement for related activities dating back to January 20th, 2021.
So
Petty bitch. And states cannot take over federal immigration powers, so they say.
I thought
But
Mexico,
y'all didn't mind.
I'm sorry.
Y'all didn't mind fucking Abbott doing that under Biden.
Nah.
Putting that shit in the water after Biden told him not to.
Right. And I thought Mexico was going to pay for the wall.
Nah.
All these people keep saying Mexico gonna pay for this, Mexico gonna pay for that. Mexico ain't
That
paying
lady
for shit.
Claudia
Well, not MAGA
Sheinbaum
people.
said,
Y'all paying for the wall with your Medicaid and your food stamp money.
Yeah. You know who
So
Claudia...
how important was it for you
Right.
to get rid of the working migrants who was building houses and picking fruit and contributing positively to your tax pools to
Y'all-
pay for your Medicaid?
So some of the
Y'all
drones
get
gonna
y'all
pick the
asses
fruit
out there and pick that fruit. Y'all get on that field and pick that shit. Because
No, they said
us
black people gonna do it.
Shit. Fuck you.
Shit.
I ain't doing it.
So let's see. 90006. This is a section.
Wait, I'm sorry. One more thing. States cannot take over federal immigration powers.
Yeah, I said that part.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. So, what happened to states' rights?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead.
That's what we was just talking about.
I'm sorry.
So this section is about the presidential protection and the residences other than the White House.
Mar-a-Lardo.
Section 90006 is talking about giving $10 billion to reimburse DHS for what they are currently spending on their kidnapping, disappearing, and caging of humans.
Right.
And funding this. I don't see whether it said what it was given. Is it $300 million?
Yeah.
$300 million.
To reimburse state and local police
So-
for extra law enforcement.
No, I'm talking about for the presidential.
For the presidential residences.
So basically, we're funding Donald Trump's remodeling that gaudy ass, ugly ass toilet room he had all the classified documents in.
I wouldn't want them documents back.
Incineration.
Smell like... No, I can't. I don't know if I can say that.
So moving on. Section 90007.
Yeah, that's the DHS
Oh, that's the
border
same
support
thing. Oh, why is it in so many times?
I don't know.
Okay, and then we got $10 billion for. That's the same thing, like surveillance, staffing, and enforcement activities.
Right.
Okay, so that's the end, y'all.
Y'all, it's a big bill. I mean, a big law, and it really gets. We got into the nitty gritty of it, so y'all would understand what they have done.
Yep.
And you're not gonna feel the effects of it right away, and that's by design.
Yep. So we hope that you guys better understand the bill now. I
Right.
hope we didn't have much technical difficulties, but this has been more than a challenge to get this done and get it done
it really
quickly
has.
to make sure that we did not miss our, weekly deadline. I hope nothing is wrong with the recording. I just saw it sped up.
Why you waving at the camera?
Because I don't know, something, I can't really see that far over there, but I don't know. Just bear with us, guys. We are working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and we'll be able to tell y'all about it soon. So that's it for this big ugly ass law. Thank y'all for watching this week, especially if you made it to the end. Don't forget to follow us on all our socials at Pragmotiv and connect with us online on the website at pragmotiv.com. You could also connect with us at pragmotivplus.com. And don't forget to subscribe over there as well.
Right.
So next week, we will be resuming our Plus episodes to go along with the regular episodes. And you could always go back and binge watch our past episodes, especially if you didn't know about them already. So we appreciate y'all. And until next time, remember to stay motivated. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace.